everybody, I'm Columbia County Manager Scott Johnson here, coming to you again with our year in review. I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. We've got a lot of great information to give you. Today we're going to be talking about Building A and some other construction projects we have. And right now I'm going to be joined by our new Capital Projects Manager, Steven Prather. Steven, welcome. So not new in the sense of being with us, you've been with us a while, but you have a brand new title as you take on additional projects for the county, building our things like our Building A and our Justice Center.
Yes, sir. So we got a lot going on this year. Right behind us, Scott just mentioned our new Building A is coming up and our Justice Center renovation project. So together, Scott, that's about $55 million worth of construction going on.
So both of these approved by the voters. These are both voter approved
yes, sir.
SPLOST projects.
Yes, sir. So Building A is a PFA bond project. Justice Center renovation is a 1722 SPLOST project.
So let's talk about Building A a little bit. So really on this side, Building A, people want to know why are we building a new Building A? Our current Building A is in pretty bad shape.
Scott, we've been planning this for years, and I know you have too, before I joined the county. Building A, the existing Building A is in disrepair. It's undersized, heavily used. So we've planned this new Building A to be about 80,000 square feet, 4 stories. And it's really a conglomeration of multiple departments coming together now to maintain operations a little bit more efficiently. We will be redesigning the site for better traffic flow. So really the Justice Center and Building A working together now for a much better campus.
That's great, and hopefully I think this building will be the building that will last our needs for a long time. I know we have some shelf space in this building, so we're not just building it out day one. Like currently, I don't believe we have a single office available on the complex to put somebody in.
Right, Scott. So good point about the shelf space. A lot of our new projects we are planning for future growth. Over the last 20 years or so, we've completely run out of space. So having shelf space not only in Building A, but also the Justice Center too, Scott.
Yeah, perfect. So let's talk about timeline on Building A first. So we've started the construction. Obviously, it's been designed. It's going up right now. What's the timeline? Are we on schedule?
Yes, sir. On schedule. We have 2 phases of this project. So phase 1, we will complete the building and we will move in the first part of January 2026. After that, we will start our second phase, which is tearing down existing Building A and all the site work associated with our new traffic plan and wrap up that project, as well as tying our site into the Justice Center expansion.
As Steven mentioned, Building A is not just a place to house government workers. This is an opportunity for the public to be able to come to the county, be able to get any business you need to get done in the county. We're trying to be more efficient by doing those things. Now let's talk about our Justice Center. This building has been around since the early 2000s, and it's hard to believe that it's been here almost 25 years. But talk about the Justice Center. What are we doing over here?
Sure, Scott. So we are adding 2 wings to the Justice Center. As you mentioned, it was built in the early 2000s. Again, it needs a lot of renovations. All the systems inside, HVAC, lighting, all those systems will be upgraded in this construction project. So 2 wings, about 25,000 additional square feet, a total of about 95,000 square feet, a new courtroom, shelf space like we mentioned earlier, a new jury assembly room, and then we actually are going to go inside and phase multiple renovations throughout the other courts.
It's already a pretty big building, so what are we doing?
So this is a almost $26 million project, so there's a lot of small pieces and parts that go into this renovation. Probate court, magistrate court, clerk of court, all of these are getting renovations. They're expanding their footprint. The 2 new wings will allow that to happen. It's a multi-phase project while maintaining operations of the courthouse, which is a pretty tough thing to do. Security is obviously our number one priority for them. So we're expanding the security offices upstairs and allowing a little bit more secure control of the building as well.
Yep. And as you know, obviously we have our own judicial circuit now, so Columbia County is a standalone judicial circuit. The efficiency of operations is important to us. So I know we bought a building across the street for the Justice Center Annex, and we have our district attorney over there. Why can't we just put everybody in one spot?
So as well as at the Justice Center Annex, as well over there, we have the juvenile court. So here in the Justice Center, the additional 1 courtroom is really for the expansion of Superior, Magistrate, and Probate Court to use. So it allows their schedules to be a little bit better, and the additional jury assembly space as well will help improve their efficiency.
And we still have a courthouse in Appling, in historic Appling. That is the county seat. That is still our courthouse, right? This is the Justice Center. We have the Justice Center Annex. So we don't want anybody to get confused. We're not doing away with our historic courthouse in Appling, Georgia. We still hold court there, and I believe it's the oldest still continuing court in Georgia. Well, Steven, thank you for your time. I know you're an extremely busy guy with all the construction projects going on in Columbia County. I know that you have your hands full, but you're doing a great job for us, so thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Columbia County EMA Director Shawn Granato. Shawn, thanks for joining me as we continue our series about what's happening in Columbia County in 2024. So obviously we've had a busy end to 2024, but let's talk a little bit about what EMA has done to maybe prepare us for this, or what else have you done this year?
Well, that's just it. Our biggest thing that we like to do is just educate and talk to the public. You know, this year our goal was to have 12 or 15 public outreach meetings. We had, I think, 58 or 60. We started the new community awareness and preparedness program that we had our first class. So anything we can do is just to get more education, you know, out to the folks about how to be prepared for something like this. We went on the morning mix. We went on Austin Roads a few times just to get people how common it is, not something as big as Helene, but where you can be out of power and out of supplies for 2, 3, 5 days.
So talk about maybe some of the grants. I know we spent a lot of time writing grants, looking for grants, and some of those things kind of get us prepared for this. I know we had some generators in the past that kind of got some of our buildings ready. So what are we doing to?
Well, the last big generator grant that we had was in response to Hurricane Michael, which was in 2018. Yep. We literally just got paid for that, or actually are in the process of getting paid for that right now, and that came out to a total for all the different generators about $1.3, $1.4 million. So we're actually working on that paperwork to go buy one for the exhibition center, which could potentially help serve as a kind of a home base for a lot of different people during a situation like Hurricane Helene. So over that time, we ended up getting, I think, 9 different generators.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that lets us have the county buildings ready when we have something like this. And you were talking about coordinating efforts and that sort of thing. Let's talk a little bit about the EOC. I tell you, I think, you know, my experience in the EOC, especially during Helene, really for every event we've ever had, but especially during Helene, there was just so much synergy in that room.
Yes,
people
sir.
working together and all the departments working together. So, I mean, how do you pull that off?
Well, it's not me. I think the thing that we tried to do as emergency management agency is make sure not to change how people do their jobs from what they do during a normal basis. So what we do is we practice. We practice everything that we do from an EMA perspective based on how they do their normal everyday operations. So what I like to say is we have normal operations during emergency conditions, or during emergency situations, or during declarations. So we work with all of our different departments: water, GIS, roads and bridges, permitting, everybody. Actually, our LEPC that, you know, we used to have 8 people come to that. Now we have 40, 45. We had 52 folks show up. So you saw a lot of those people there during the EOC activation. So we know who we can lay eyes on when it's time, when an event happens, so we don't have to scramble around and figure out who we need to talk to at Georgia Power, who we need to talk to at AT&T. All of those people are a part of our team, so everybody can talk to each other at once rather than having to scramble around and track people down.
Yeah, and I think it was great. I tell you, just from my point of view, being able to walk into the EOC or spend a lot of time in the EOC, being able to look up at the board to see where our assets are, you know, to understand that maybe we have generators that need to be refueled, and how we're going to coordinate those efforts to be able to keep our radios up and running. Fortunately, we had a generator there, but we were able to keep our communications up with our radios working, and that way we could have people respond to the folks in the county that really needed our help the most. So really, I mean, the hurricane obviously was the big deal in 2024 for us. I mean, we've never been hit this hard. So we're here at a debris site today. This is one of 13 or 14 now, I believe.
Yes, sir, and we just put in for another one this morning.
Okay, so talk about what happens once it gets here.
So you're right, and I'll even take a little step back further. The trucks that we have on the road, you know, we had 50, 60 trucks on there for a while. Now we have 137, and it just increases. And I really want people to understand that it's just not Columbia County. we're fighting for equipment with all of Georgia, all of North Carolina, all of Florida, South Carolina. Everywhere in the Southeast got hit with these storms at the same time. But we have to make sure that once it gets picked up, that's not the only thing. You see the trucks out there that are offloading. We also have trucks that are out there chipping the debris, so we can actually transport it more to our final place. We have to document it from the time we pick it up on the side of the road, from the time that it's dropped off here, it's chipped down, it's broken down, and then we take it to its final resting place, what FEMA calls it, from cradle to grave. We have to take pictures and document that the entire time. So there's a lot more going into it than just picking it up on the side of the road. And the citizens play a big part of that too. You know, they take all the time to put it out on the side of the road. Well, then it's our job to take care of it once it gets picked up by our trucks, brought out to the facilities, and then again taken to its final resting place.
And I think for the citizens to understand, this is a huge undertaking for us. I know I've authorized up to $50 million so far. Folks, we don't have $50 million laying around in Columbia County. I don't think we'd be good stewards of your tax-paying dollars if we had that kind of money laying around.
Yes,
we don't have that, so we're having to front the money. Hopefully we're gonna get that reimbursement. I know you and your team are working hard on that paperwork you talked about.
Yes, sir.
And that's some of the reason that I guess people are getting frustrated, because they're saying, you know, they're not picking it up this way, or they're not picking it up the right way, or they're not picking it up fast enough. All of that really has to do with this paperwork, and hopefully we can get our money back from the federal government, because without them we couldn't do this.
That's right, and that's the thing. A lot of people think that it's FEMA's boots on the ground out here picking it up. It's not. It's the contracts that we had in place that we go renew every year, that we've had this for debris monitoring and debris management, and then FEMA, kind of out of the kindness of their hearts, will reimburse us at the end of it. But that's all our contract. That's what we do. Then Series and Debris Tech, they're the ones that come out and monitor and pick everything up. And I don't know that I can explain in triplicate the amount of paperwork that we have to do to get this reimbursed. And we've already put in for one project for debris removal for an expedited project. So hopefully in the next week, we'll have about a $20 million cushion to come back to us, so we can start, you know, getting that money reimbursed. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a $100 to $120 million project just for debris removal. That's how much we have. So we can't float that money, which is why we do this in stages as it goes. Yes, sir.
So really great examples of why we need an EMA. Columbia County's EMA is really robust. If it weren't for the work that they did ahead of time, we certainly wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be able to do this. I would hate to say that we would be in a community that we didn't pick up debris. And maybe there are communities out there that are not picking up debris at all. But Columbia County is doing everything we can. It's because these folks are working hard every single day to make sure that we're prepared when something like this happens. And this time we were.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and you have to tip your hats to the engineering department that's helping all these folks, because keep this in mind too, all these folks are from Louisiana and California and Oregon. They don't know the roads here, so Kyle and his team at Engineering and Roads and Bridges, they're kind of tasked with pointing people in the direction, but there's still so much to pick up that you can tell them an area, but what neighborhood and what street, they're not going to get that until they get, you know, these 800 houses that are in the way to get there. So it's a big process. Yeah. Really big.
Well, thanks for what you do, Shawn. Thank you for your time today.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
So as 2024 comes to a close, hopefully you've had the opportunity to see some of the things we do here in Columbia County by watching these videos. We're extremely proud of our team and all the things we've been able to accomplish. From every single department working together to make this community what it is, to you, the citizen, doing your part to make Columbia County the best place to live, work, and raise a family. From our side, we're going to continue to do the things that we've been trying to do for so many years, whether that's reducing your taxes, cutting our budgets, or whatever it is that we can do. We're going to continue to work to try to make Columbia County the best place to live. So from all of us here in Columbia County, we hope you've enjoyed 2024, and we all look forward to 2025. We have some great things coming your way.